alongside Jesse Finney. We are the Hit Squad. This is 101sports.com. And we're going to be teeing up the main event, wreaking havoc. Shamrock Fighting Championships, August 10th, 2013, happening at the Lumiere Casino. They're nearly sold out already, so if you're interested in getting tickets, you want to do it quickly because this main event's going to feature Ken Porter taking on Josh Epps. And we're actually joined right now by Ken Porter. Ken, you there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good to have you on the show. First off, let's talk about Josh Epps, and you guys are squaring off in the main event. What do you know about Josh, and kind of what's your philosophy? What's going to be your fight style heading out there?
I know a lot about Josh. I think he's underestimated me. He thinks I'm a loud swinger, but from what I've noticed, he's very wild. He comes out really aggressive, and I think that's going to play as a down part in this fight. And I'm gonna be a little bit more technical than him. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
And, I'm gonna utilize a lot of my wrestling background in this fight.
Okay.
Speaking of your wrestling background, tell us a little bit about your wrestling background and where you went to college, where you went to high school here in St. Louis area.
Well, I went to college at Mobap, and I went to Merrimack. And high school, I went to Hazel West. And I did really good in high school. Only lost one time. And when I went to college, I did really good. I placed. And I really don't have anything to say about that because I don't want them to know too much about me.
I tell you what, kid, we got the still shot. You're holding 4 belts there. Now, are those are those belts that were won in boxing, wrestling, or MMA?
MMA. I have quite a few boxing belts too. Got a lot of kickboxing belts too.
Well, obviously, you're highly decorated, and now you're fighting on the Shamrock Fighting Championships main event. Now, it's no secret to anyone who's been listening or watching is that this is the AAA to the UFC. This is where you fight in order to find your way into the octagon on the big stage. Talk about your future and how excited you are to fight on the main event for the Havoc coming up on August 10th.
I am super excited, and this is like a dream come true, especially working with Jesse Finney. He's always had my back, and it's a good surprise, too. And I really appreciate it, you know. I don't let anyone down on this. I'm going to go out there and put on a show, you know.
Well, Ken, if you had one thing to say to Josh Epps at the end in this interview, what would you say to him?
Josh Epps, I think you should keep your hands up.
Always good advice. Anderson Silva could have used that a little while back. I tell you what. Now, Ken, you said you were surprised to be working with Jesse. Why would you be surprised?
You know, Jesse, the man of miracles. Yeah, he, everything I asked for, he done done it for me. He's a good friend. You know, he always had my back. Just know that.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, thanks for coming on, Ken, and we look forward to watching your fight on August 10th against Josh Epps.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You must have paid him off to say that.
No kidding, right?
I know you, and I got a whole different side of you other than Ken Porter.
Stop, don't say that.
So Josh Epps, what do we know about Josh Epps as he takes on Ken Porter?
You know, Josh Epps used to train at the Hit Squad over in Granite City, Illinois.
Oh.
So I've trained with him a few times. He's an extremely talented kid. He's a kid he's a Strike Force veteran. He's had a lot of fights. He's right on the verge of the local kid actually making it to the big time. And I got to tell you something. Like right now with Kenny Porter, man, he is the kid. He's quiet, obviously. Mm-hmm. He's a very quiet kid, but he's also a kid that is extremely explosive. 125-pounder. He says he wants to go to 115 pounds. And I tell you something. Remember, I said this to you, man. If they open up the 115-pound weight class in the UFC, Kenny Porter is a guy that will be in there. The kid is, I think he's 3-1 now. His one loss, he revenged on the June 15th card here in Shamrock Fighting Championships. He's an exciting kid, man. The kid's got the whole package. The kid can wrestle. He's got good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's also can box and some kickbox. And the kid there's one thing you know about Kenny Porter, he's always in shape. So that's going to be a hell of a fight. And I think, like I said in the last part, who's going to win? It's going to be the fans because the little guys always put on a damn fight. I love it. You know, they're not slow. They're not methodical. I mean, those kids come to fight. And with those two, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Well, now, okay. this is, and I didn't get to touch on it before with Dan Cormier and Roy Nelson. Now, obviously, you can't pick and choose your fights when you're on the, AAA, when you're coming up. But, you said he used to train at your gym, and now Kenny Porter trains at your gym, and they don't have a choice. They've got to fight.
Hey, man, it's the nature of the business. I mean, so you don't have to hate somebody, but these two don't like each other. I will say that. But a lot of times it's part of it, man. You got to work your way out of the St. Louis scene into the Midwest scene, and then these kids are some of the top kids around right now. So I mean, it's part of the business. I mean, it's business. It just so happens you got to fight. Some people think, oh well, they got to hate each other. You don't have to hate each other to fight. I can tell you that. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting night on August the 10th, and we'll see what happens.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot because
Okay.
I would like to see Daniel Cormier get a shot at Kane.
Ooh. That won't happen.
See, why does that not happen at the UFC level?
Because they're in the same gym as we speak right now. If I had two guys that were in my gym, they're not fighting each other. Okay, just because one used to train at a gym, years ago, and then one trains at a gym now, they never trained together. So it's like, I mean, this Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier. Cormier will go down to 205. And you know what? There's a lot of gym battles, man. And you got to understand something. There's a lot of gym battles that we all don't know about.
No, that's
true, I mean, these guys.
But I think, for as much as the fan's been winning, I think in some cases the fan loses in this. I feel like that's like it coming down to the Super Bowl and New England.
Hardballs played each other, right?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm sure they didn't want to, but that's what everybody wanted to see. And I would, myself,
it is a business.
I would like to see Daniel Cormier fight Kane. I mean, he's undefeated in the heavyweight. And I
just respect the fighters too much.
I get what you're saying there. And
you know what? It's not all about just that. I'm sorry. Yes, it's about the fan, but at the same time, it's also about, Daniel Cormier wouldn't be nearly as good if he didn't have Cain Velasquez.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so remember that. Cain Velasquez wouldn't be nearly as good as he didn't have Daniel Cormier. So there's a lot that goes into that. So you want to make each other better so you can beat each other. I mean, it's like that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. It's tough.
I don't want to see it. But Dana White wants to see it. But he
wants to see Cormier and King?
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to see it. He's a promoter.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I mean, like, you know what? When you put millions and millions and when they'll cross that bridge when they get there.
It's interesting.
Hey, you don't forget something. You got Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez 3. It's got to get through. You also got
that's a log jam. I mean, the heavyweight. There's plenty.
Cross that bridge when you get there.
Absolutely.
Hey, GSP against Roy McDonald.
That'd be the same thing, yeah.
So I mean, what's going to happen there?
It'll be and that's what we're looking at. But we're going to be tackling the rest of the card for Shamrock Fighting Championships coming up in our next segment. You're watching 101sports.com.